Yo, what's up? This is Jake Average. I'm a 30-year-old gamer with pretty average mechanical skills. I play Blackout a couple hours a night. I'm married and I've got a full-time job, but I'm also pretty competitive in nature, so I want to commentate and critique my gameplay so that I can improve, while also showing you guys how I win solo games of Blackout as an average player. So let's do it! So my very first thing is the wingsuit tip. Now I think everyone knows at this point that if you pin drop to about 60 meters per second, you can level out at about 66 meters per second and get most places on the map. My personal little tip on that one is you can use the visual indicator of the arms tucking to the sides. That happens at around 49 meters per second. So it's a little bit higher up on the meter, so basically it allows you to wingsuit all over the map. In this game I'm dropping estates purely because I like the hot drop, because it's way more action, way more fun. But also I'm looking for the Reznov hat here. Pretty sweet start already. I've got a level 2. No fucking Reznov hat. And obviously I'm just starting to kit up. This is the very first critique I'll give myself on this gameplay, is that I should have killed that dude straight away as soon as I saw him dropping. Because, you know, I want to get those kills. Yeah, I should have been far more aggressive here, I think, and pushed that guy. The earlier you eliminate people, the better, in my opinion. Although I know there's a little bit of a trend amongst players to not shoot people when they don't have a gun. I'm not about that life, though. Here's another piece of criticism. I don't know why I went for that kill. Maybe a golden rule here is that I generally try to only go for kills when I can finish them off, when I'm pretty confident that I can finish them off. That one was an iffy one at best. The bullet penetration in this game is really unusual anyway, so I'm not sure that I'm a big fan of that. I don't know why I went for that kill, let's put it that way. I should have gotten to a more advantageous position before I pushed. Here, I think the key point here is that I'm starting to... I heard that guy coming, and I tried to position myself so that I was at least partially covered. As soon as I know that he's got a shotgun, obviously leg it, get a little bit of distance. Unfortunately, the rate of fire on that Mod 12 is hideous. Heaps of fun to use though, sometimes. Can't say it's a particularly competitive option for me, anyway, with my particular skills. And in saying that, I take that anyway. Now, obviously, this is a couple of patches ago before we've improved our loot, and it's also before you can repair armor, I believe. Now, I'm absolutely miles away from the zone here, and I'm sure I'll check that in a little minute. But it's not an enormous concern in the early parts of the game. You can heal through that as long as you're reasonably conscious of how far away you are, so you can loot up a stack of heals. I've just bypassed reinforced there. My apologies, I picked that up. I don't think I used it in this game. And you can go ahead and scrap that. The fact that I didn't use the old repair armor, because it turns out we are in that patch anyway. So, like I was saying earlier, I am just looting up a stack of heals. I'm reasonably confident there's no one else here in the States. I can't hear anyone else. I can't emphasize enough how important hearing is in this game. I run a pair of Astro 50s. They're off the head. Feels like I can hear a lot of things, but then I watch other people play and it feels like they can hear things a little bit better than me. So I think we all agree it's a super important aspect of this game now. Alright, so now that we've got a little bit of time before any sort of action happens here, I want to give a little bit of a fair warning. I'm under absolutely no delusions that anyone's going to watch this anyway, but if by chance you've made it this far, I want to give a fair warning that I'm sure it's going to be nothing but opinionated garbage. Riddled with overbearing opinions, bro science, armchair psychology, and I'll probably have unqualified opinions on basically everything, not limited to COD or balancing Blackout or even gaming. I'll probably talk complete shit. That dude was basically silent while reviewing that game. I can only assume that at the time I heard something. My account is just completely freezing. I think you can already get an idea of what I'm prioritising loot-wise. I don't love the Rampart because of the rate of fire, but it does absolutely melt. Now, as we can see, I am absolutely miles away from the zone, but we can heal through this. I want to be efficient with my heals though, not overheal. I think there's quite a few occasions here where I do overheal, and because I'm so deep, I shouldn't be doing that. That's just inefficient play. I'm keeping an eye out here for vehicles. I think above everything else. You just have to ignore this shit. But yeah, loadout wise, I'm running the Rampart. I don't like the iron sights on it, but you can see that I've ignored the 2 times. I think there was even a 3x earlier. I haven't got used to the optics on the on Blackout yet. I think I probably will have to. But the vast majority of my FPS experience was on COD 4. Pro Mod was basically my favourite gaming experience of all time. So, you know, the only comparison there is like ACOG sights, and I certainly didn't use those on rifles. So I'm not yet used to using the scopes. I generally only use like the ABR as far as the scope goes. Most of the time I prioritise a reflex or an ELO, but I will run iron sights over those. Again, that is just a personal preference. I don't think there's a particular positive either way, other than to say that when it's when you've got all the attachments on the guns, they handle an awful lot better recoil wise. So I don't think there's a huge lot of value in putting a scope on it prior to that. I generally like to pick up mesh mines purely because they're the best way to deal with vehicles. In solos, it's not uncommon to run into dudes in that Warthog ATV thing with the turret on top. That is super hard to deal with without. I mean, clusters are okay, but they're slightly harder to hit than a mesh mine. Again, terrible driving. That's purely something mechanically that I can improve on. I also think I take a water hit here, 25 health. Yeah, I did just then. You can hold your breath for about, I count to 6 or 7 generally, that's the way that I do it. I also like to save that trauma kit until I'm just inside the zone, so that I'm activating it on the way in. But I've obviously mistimed it here. I'm not going to be fast by 6 damage. I don't think I've got a spare trauma anyway, but even if I did, I wouldn't use it. There's one of those Warthogs that I was just talking about, and I didn't pick up those mesh mines, so I've basically got no options to deal with that thing. Now I'm still miles away from this zone, purely on the fact that I came into the zone so late, because I ran the entire way. So I'm not overly worried that there's going to be anyone behind me, or even around me that much. In saying that, I still try to jump and look backwards. I really like holding an Outlander, purely for the sort of final zones, positioning wise, consumer for exactly the same reason. In fact, generally speaking, I like to hold the perks for the later stages of the game. I contest this guy purely because I'm hoping that he's going to push. But as a general rule, I don't like contesting people in buildings. whether it's a visual glitch or intentional on Treyarch's behalf, it's really hard to see people inside of windows. He's about to get pushed by the zone anyway, so I'm just holding an advantageous position here behind a tree. Again, positioning is king. I keep repeating, I don't have the mechanical prowess to take these shots and make them and definitely punish them. So I'm trying to stalk this guy into a position where I can make all those shots without him getting as few as possible. Now he's running, so I'm not overly worried about me running. Even so, I think he hears me. Now, the only reason I'm repairing my armor here, it's not because I need to, it's purely because I can refresh it anyway, so I may as well. I'm sort of the opinion that the SWAT is the strongest AR in the game at the moment, behind the tactical ones, like the ADR, which I personally think probably needs a little bit of a nerf, a bit of a touch-up. I think it does far too much damage per bullet, but that's neither here nor there. So again, I'm trying to stay as high in health as possible even while I'm in the storm, rather than sort of just edging through. I don't think there's any sort of real value in doing that. Now, unfortunately, frags are basically just the inferior grenade in this game. I don't like Molotovs at all. I think Molotovs are probably even worse than grenades, frags, but the clusters are just too strong. Literally today, Bondi announced the nerf to clusters of another second on their explosion time. So that's fantastic news in my opinion. I'm not worried that I didn't take the shots there, because it would have literally just given away my position with very little chance that I was going to make the shot. And I immediately move on this guy. This guy that I shoot at, it doesn't, to me, sound as though he was the one who shot at the ATV. This was just bad shooting, I think, in a lot of ways. That was I probably should have fed that guy pretty easily. But again, that's mechanical skills that I want to improve, but really only improve with time in this game. So the whole point of this critique and commentation of these sorts of commentary, I should say, of this gameplay is to improve my intangible skills like decision making and positioning and things like that. Pure mechanical skills, I hope, will come with time. Now, I'm still not sure where these shots come from. I think maybe the bottom window of this two-story building. I'm sort of using the bank here to head glitch, and I'm on the edge of the zone, so I'm not overly worried about making those shots. Again, I don't open up on this guy until he's past the rock, because he can take cover, heal up, and repair on the rock. The fact that this guy stops shooting at me indicates to me that he loses sight or he doesn't want to contest anymore, which is why I'm a little bit more confident to continue running around like this. It sounded to me like it was an SDM or something like that, and I didn't take in a huge hit when he did tag me, so I'm not overly worried at losing this thing. You know, if I'd heard a Paladin or another one of the rifles there, I probably would have not looted that. Now you'll notice that I take a real wide berth around the buildings. That's probably another general rule that I sort of referenced earlier. I don't like to push into buildings at all unless you want to sensor dart them or dead silence. You know, to be quite honest, I don't really want to use those resources to push buildings on the edge of the map. So I'm quite happy to let that circle push this guy out of that house rather than contesting there. But I'm going to continue to check it. Now obviously I've seen this guy on the top right hand corner. I'm not pushing him per se, rather I'm just sort of moving towards him. Again, this is all about trying to get that kill in sort of straight up rather than take some speculated shots from what, 150 yards or something like that. So I'm basically just stalking this guy. Again, if I had mesh mines, I'd love to do to plan up this warthog here because it's well and truly inside the zone. Now, positioning wise, I'm pretty much right in the center of the circle, which again, as a general rule, I wouldn't sort of recommend. But there's only 14 up. It's been a reasonably inactive game. I'm not overly worried there's someone behind me. Plus, I'm extremely cocky in this instance because I got 180 health. I got another trauma kit. I got a full level 2, and I got a SWAT that's fully decked out. So I'm not overly worried if someone opens up. I can probably take cover and contest, and I think I've already got a concussion. See, that's one of those things that I like to do again, just to even the odds in my favour, is to put the concussion grenade as my very first piece of equipment, which I think I did very soon. I probably should have done it sooner. I did drop the trauma kit just to get that extra 20 health here. That's only because I'm considering pushing this box for the level 3. Level 3 at this point of the game makes you super duper strong. So I think in a lot of ways it's worth the risk. But I see this guy here and I get Bloodlust. Again, I'm not opening up until I have an advantageous position where I think I can kill him pretty easily. Unless he turns on me, which he has. But even so, I'm already behind a rock. You know, what can you say about that? That's a pretty textbook cluster kill. I don't know if I'm even excited about that because it was pretty average. So I was considering taking this outlaw. I wanted to check whether this guy had some scopes first. If not, I'm quite happy to run the Moggy. You can basically 2-tap most armor with the Mog, so it is super strong, particularly when the circle's getting tight. But you know, if you miss one of those shots, the rate of fire makes it pretty poor. So it's not as if it's super duper strong in that regard. Now, as you can see, I've still got a shitload of gear here. I've got some perks that I haven't used. I now have a level 3. I got a shitload of grenades, and I got a scope. Now, just quickly I want to touch on something, why I'm doing a long form review of this game rather than just sort of doing a highlight reel. I mean, personally, I sort of think that if you're an average player, you want to see this whole thing about movement, not just a highlight reel, because I think anyone can sort of look pretty impressive in a highlight reel. So that's why I'm doing that, doing a long form. I want people to see the entire game. Obviously, for me to improve, the best way to improve would be to critique the mistakes I make. But in a solo game, you're generally only making one fatal error, and then you're out of the game. So I'm reviewing wins, so that obviously you guys can get something out of this, if there's anyone watching. And I'm sure that there's a stack of near fatal errors that I make. So that was a level 3 with the trauma kit, and the SWAT mows it down. I'm not sure that there's really any other gun that can fill that role, especially against level 3s. You know, the ABR is again the strongest one, I think. So he probably can do the same task, but it's slightly more punishing with its limited rate of fire, particularly in close range. See, I probably should have taken that sensor dart there. There's no harm in stacking up the sensor darts. I could have picked it up and dumped it straight away and used it. I mean, obviously you can only use one sensor dart at a time. I'm now basically in a very tough position to sort of bugger up. I'm in level 3. I've got trauma kit, so I'm playing super arrogantly here. I just lost that trauma kit, but I picked up a pretty easy kill there. Again, this is probably a mechanical criticism. I just took too long to aim up that shot. Scoping wise, that's generally how I spent a vast majority of my time playing Call of Duty, was playing with a scope. But that was in games that used hit scan. So I'm not a great sniper in Blackout. I'm hoping again with time this is going to improve. With the sniper rifle, I generally try to take a little bit longer to load up headshots, because you're so far away that, generally speaking, you're so far away when you're using the sniper rifle that they can heal their armor and heal their gear pretty easily. There's only one dude up. I've got heaps of time. I can't hear anything, so I load up on the pally. There's no real call for this other than the fact that it's more fun to use. I obviously try to get the high ground here, which just gives me super strong position. I've already got the sensor dart down. I guess I don't prioritise healing up here, purely because I've got that full level 3. That level 3, if you guys aren't aware, already gives you I think it gives you 100% extra effective health in a lot of ways. I could have those stats wrong. Especially now that I've got a trauma kit, super strong position. I've also got consumer running, which means I can heal and repair my armor really easy in this last circle. I've also got the concussion grenade. I don't know, I sort of think that there's everything in my favour here, other than the fact that old mate here is already got better protection than me, in that he's behind a rock. He's also wearing level 3, but he's going to get pushed by the circle. Now, we've already sort of confirmed that he's got an AR, so I'm not overly fast that I'm poking him. Terrible grenading. I'm just taking my time to try to line up headshots here. Got grenades again, too short I think. Oh, that might have been too long. Too short. So I'm still trying to line up a scope shot, but he's just repairing and healing here. That's probably my big criticism of Blackout. See, then right there I thought this dude had disconnected, which is why I even take that shot. But the fact that I'm holding concussion here means that as soon as he pushes from that rock, I can concuss him. I guess he knew that as well, which is why he hugged the edge of the map. But because he's on the edge of the map, I'm only using that little rock just inside of it. But he has to get pushed by the circle. So I'm looking for some cover here. I don't have any, which is why I just threw that concussion to decide that I had to push him. Now I missed that concussion, but he gets stomped by both the swatty and the circle. So I hope you guys got something out of that. I'm going to try to do 9 more episodes, so I want to do a 10-part series as an average player winning solo games of Blackout. Enjoy. I hope that was alright.